Hello guys, Roll1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video along with Charmander in the background as always. And in today's video, me and Charmander have been doing a lot of discussing, and we have been discussing the ban list. Specifically, what cards on the ban list are going to come off and what cards in the game are going to come on. Now, obviously guys, we've just entered a new format, so Konami are going to want to do a little bit of crowd control to kind of weaken the older decks. So I did actually have a lot of thought to what cards could be hitting these decks, what you could do to weaken the format / keep some of these decks around. And I've also gone and said for some of these cards that they just need to die, they need to go, they cannot stay in the format, and yeah. So this ban list prediction is going to be something that I hope Konami will do, but I also can see Konami doing realistically as well, so I hope you do enjoy it. Now, let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the banned cards. Now, the first card that I think is going to be banned, and I don't think anyone will disagree with, is Artifact Scythe. Now, let's be honest guys, this card has been in the game for too long. This card has been just ruining games across the format, saying, oh yeah, we're just gonna summon ourselves to the board, prevent you from summoning from the extra deck, skip your turn essentially, and just OTK. I don't think there's a big discussion here of why this card needs to be banned, and if Konami don't realize at this point that the people in the game hate this card, then honestly, I just don't understand what Konami R&D are doing, and yeah, Konami, please just ban this card. It needs to go, it's not fun, it doesn't progress the game state in any way, it just says, I'm gonna skip your turn, haha, you can't play the game, and it's essentially an FTK in a way, unless you're playing against Flunderies. So yeah, Artifact Scythe needs to be banned, please Konami, just finally get rid of it. Second card that I think will be banned is Wind Barrier Statue of the, well, it's Barrier Statue of the Storm Winds, or Wind Barrier Statue as we'll call it, and yeah, I don't think I need to explain this either. Flunderies is stupid. Flunderies has a Vanity's Emptiness. Vanity's Emptiness is on the ban list for a reason. So, realistically, this card should be banned, right? Right? Please, Konami, just ban this card. Like, seriously. Having a card in the game that's literally just says you can only special summon one attribute of monster, in theory, is fair. But at the same time, it's an attribute of monster that no deck plays? Like, honestly, looking at every deck in the format, I can't think of a single deck right now that plays a wind monster outside of literally Flunderies. Like, Punk, they play light, dark, earth, all of this stuff, but they don't really play any wind monster they special summon. Looking at Sprite, fire and dark, literally. Tillerman, dark, water. Like, I can't see a single deck in the game this card is fair against, and seeing as Flunderies are already a very easy to pilot deck that also has quite a bit of consistency and has a lot of interaction on your opponent's turn already, and has access to insane cards like Dimension Shifter and also M-Pen that just says no link monster effects essentially, and well, no attack position monster effects. Like, it's just not good to have a card like this that just literally says, oh yeah, I'm gonna Vanity's Emptiness you can't play the game, haha, you have to normal summon, oh you normal summoned, well I'm gonna go ahead and trigger my field spell that allows me to normal summon, make a rise, and then just get rid of your stuff. It doesn't promote any sort of fun, it doesn't promote any sort of interactive gameplay. All it says is, you're gonna get smacked by a bird, and you're just gonna be mad at the end of the day. Like, the deck already has D-Shifter, I think D-Shifter is fine right now, we need to keep that in the game for the Ishizu stuff, like, that has to stay. But Wind Barrier Statue, I'm sorry, no, it's Vanity's Emptiness, get out of the game please and thank you. That's the only other main deck card in the format that I really think needs to be banned. I can't really see any other main deck cards being banned. Scythe, Barrier Statue, get rid of them both. They're both turn skipping cards that don't give any sort of fun to the game or skill into the game, so yeah, just get rid of them. But going on to some extra deck cards that I think need to be banned. First of all is Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. I'm gonna be honest, this card needs to go for quite a few reasons. One, this card is just absolutely insane. Like, literally, a tuner and a non-tuner monster, so it's generic, that literally says, when it's synchro summoned, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and pick a light or a dark monster in them and add it to your hand, and then just send the rest to the graveyard, is great. This card is insane. This card is so good, and basically is a painful choice in a way, because yes, you can't just pick 5 cards from your deck, but it's insane because you just get to mill potentially 5 cards, or you get to add a card to your hand and also just send the other 4 to the graveyard and just gain free advantage. Like, that is absolutely insane. Having that ability to just add 1 card to your hand while also milling potentially 4 really strong cards. Like, I could see this card milling Tearlament cards. I could see this card milling Dragon Link cards. This could mill Destrudo. This could mill literally any 5 cards. This could mill Snow. This could mill just an insane amount of cards. And then also on top of that, you could potentially add a hand trap in those cards to your hand. You could add a Veiler. You could add a Ghost Ogre. You could add literally any light or dark hand trap from those cards to your hand to have for your opponent's turn for follow-up play. And then also on top of that, this card says you can banish a light and a dark monster from your graveyard to special summon it back from the graveyard. So if you're playing any sort of rank 8 strategy or any sort of level 9 synchro, like this one comes to mind, the one that can literally target a face-up card, negate its effects for the turn. Like, this card is insane in that, and I just really think this isn't a fair card. And every time I've seen it, be it in Pure Punk, be it in Dragon Link, be it in just a lot of different strategies, it's just really been abused and has been so free and just gives them anything they want and just is free material to go into whatever they want. And I don't think that's good for the game. I don't think that's healthy for the game. So I could honestly see this card being banned, just kind of like, you know, weaken these decks that are abusing it and just also be fairly gotten rid of, because it's just basically 4 cards in the graveyard, slash and add, or just 5 cards in the graveyard that just can go off. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, this card needs to go. I think it's fair to say it can go. And yeah, Chaos Ruler, please get out the game. You're basically a painful choice for the top 5 cards of the game deck. So yeah, it's just really insane and is really, really strong. Next, the only other card that I think will be banned is Crystron Hauki Fibrax. Let's be honest, guys, this card has had its time. This card is insane. This card is great. And just the fact of the matter is, this card has put so many tuners on the ban list that I think it's time for it to go. Like, honestly, the fact of the matter is, this card is used in so many different decks. This card is used in so many different combos that it's time for it to go. It's time for it to go, be fair, go to the ban list, have its holiday, its final days, maybe come back one day. But for now, this card needs to go. This card is insane. This card is just really strong. It can go into so many different decks. Konami put it to 1 because of people playing multiple of it. You know what that did? Absolutely nothing, because it's still doing everything it did before. This card is literally part of the Hulk combo. This card can summon Shooting Riser Dragon to send a Snow to the graveyard. This card is just so strong and so insane that honestly, it's time for it to go. Come on, Konami, please. Like, having a card like this that literally just says special summon a monster from the deck, go ahead and use that monster for whatever you want. Summon Rocket Synchron from the deck, then you go ahead and discard a card after linking it away. Special summon the Rocket Synchron back, go ahead and make a Link 4 play. Like, turning a 2 monsters into a Link 4 isn't fair, and the fact that you brought Rocket Synchron back with this at 1 was questionable to begin with. And honestly, if you just ban this card, you can bring back quite a few tuners as well. So yeah, ban it. It's degenerate. It goes into a lot of combo decks. Like, it's putting it to 1 has done nothing. So please, Konami, just realize you should have banned this card right out, because it should have never been at 1 in realistic honesty. And it's just really strong and can go into literally a Link 4 with itself and no other cards needed. So yeah, Hauki Fibrax banned. That's the only other card I think will ban. Honestly, these 4 cards need to go. Scythe and Barrier Statue, let's be honest, they need to go. They're not good for the game. They're basically a turn skips, essentially. Chaos Ruler, it's literally mill 5 or mill 4 and add a card, which is insane. And Hauki Fibrax, it should have been banned. It shouldn't have been put to 1. Let's be honest, guys. Like, it's just really, really strong. But yeah, those are all the cards that I think will be banned. Let's go ahead and go on to the limited section. The first thing on the limited section that I think needs to be hit is Water Enchantress. Now, I think there are a couple of reasons why Water Enchantress should be the thing in the entire adventure package to be hit, and we're going to go over them right now. So first of all, as I said, the adventure package needs to be hit. It's a very strong package that gives you access to a free compulse every turn and also into an Omni Negate. That is really strong and definitely does need to be controlled to some degree, so I think hitting Enchantress is one of the fair cards to hit. 2, Enchantress is just the entire package in itself and that's just really good. So I think it needs to be hit for that as well. 3, you can literally discard it to the graveyard to then banish it to search Rite of Aramesir from your graveyard or your deck. So it's essentially 3 more copies of Rite of Aramesir already that can be used in other ways and give you more resources, so should be hit on top of that. And 4 is the same as 3 basically, but you can go ahead and normal summon it, use it as link material, and then just do the same thing anyway, because you can just go ahead and banish it from the graveyard, get the Rite of Aramesir, and have access into the whole adventure package. Like, honestly, when I look at the adventure package, I think this is the best card to hit in the entire adventure package, just for the fact that, yeah, I can be used as a discard, I can be used as a summon, I can add it back from the graveyard or the deck, so hitting Rite of Aramesir to 1 would do nothing because you can still recycle the card. Like, honestly, I think War Enchantress is just the best card to hit, and also, if you have a token on board and you draw a Rite of Aramesir, technically, you draw a dead card because you already have an adventure token, so you can't activate said Rite of Aramesir. So, yeah. This is just how I thought about hitting the adventure package, and it is technically the best card in the entire engine to hit. So Konami, I think, will actually limit this card just to kind of weaken the adventure package, seeing as the adventure package is a really strong engine that gives you access into compulses, negates, and also just free discards as well, which is just absolutely insane, and also free summons as well. So yeah, War Enchantress to 1, I could definitely see. Next card, though, is Emergency Teleport. Guys, let's be honest, Emergency Teleport needs to go. This card needs to be at 1 again. Like, honestly, I cannot stress how powerful this card is. The card is insane, being a full 1-card combo most of the time in Punk, and honestly, this card needs to be limited again just because of Punk exists. Having the ability to summon a Ziyarman, pay 600, and then just get a Foxy Tune or get a Deer Note to then use these cards to go into a massive combo that can end on multiple disruptions, can end on literally so many different cards being used. And seeing as Pure Punk already has access into a Positive Greed, has access into 3 special summons, has access into Chaos Ruler, which, yes, I said should be banned, and if it's banned alongside this being limited, I'd be perfectly happy. Like, honestly, Emergency Teleport needs to go. It's just a full 1-card combo. It can be used in so many degenerate strategies, and the fact of the matter is, E-Tele before Ziyarman, absolutely fine. No problems with me whatsoever. E-Tele after Ziyarman, Jesus, no, get rid of the card. Nope, Konami, you need to hit Emergency Teleport. This card is absolutely insane, and the fact that you can just summon Ziyarman from the deck, get all these free resources, and just be happy days is absolutely insane. And yes, I may lose an E-Tele from my PK deck, but guys, let's be honest, I think hitting this card to 1 to weaken Punk, which is just doing so much in terms of what it can do now, is absolutely insane, and it definitely needs to be weakened to an extent, just for the fact that it's an older deck. For one, Konami are going to want to make these newer decks more viable, and seeing as Emergency Teleport, all it does is say, oh yeah, I'm a 1-card combo, which is absolutely insane. Limit the card, make the game more balanced. Konami, you put it to 3. I was fine with it before that, then Ziyarman happened, and then it's just not fine at 3. Like, honestly, I can see Konami putting this card to 1, again, just to kind of balance the deck a bit, still have access for other decks, and then just make it a fair card in that. So yeah, Emergency Teleport to 1, definitely could see it. It's literally a full Punk combo on its own, and I just don't think that's fair for a lot of players. So yeah, Emergency Teleport to 1. And then the only other card actually I think will be limited is Harpy's Featherstorm. Like, I don't think I need to exaggerate why this card needs to be limited. Like, essentially, there's 2 reasons for this as well. One, it's literally a turn skip card, essentially like Artifact Scythe and also the Wind Barrier statue, in the sense that it literally says, oh, if I control a Winged Beast Wind monster, yeah, just negate any monster effect your opponent activates that turn. Huh. Yeah, so my opponent can't play and I'm just going to kill them on the following turn? That doesn't sound fun, does it? Like, honestly. And yes, this card isn't good against back row decks or anything along those lines, but at the same time, having a card that literally just says no to the game isn't fair, and I think it should be limited because of that. And 2, you can literally play this with free Trap Trick. So if you play this and free Trap Trick, you essentially have 6 copies of this in your deck that says, oh yeah, I'm playing Thunderears. I have access to a Floodgate monster, a Wind Barrier statue, D-shifter, and all of this other stuff that really just isn't fun in the game. And I'm gonna put on top of that another turn skip card. Like, it's just not fair, it's not fun. Like, honestly, a deck like Flunderies needs to be hit right now, because it's just literally just not fun in the game, and it's not good for the game. Having a deck that literally can play cards that say, oh yeah, I'm just gonna skip your turn, not gonna let you play the game, and just generally sit here just looking at you until you scoop. Like, seriously, the deck has so many things right now. It has D-shifter, as I said. I think D-shifter's fine. It needs to save for the Shizu stuff, so I'm fine with it in the game right now. Barrier statue, it needs to go. As I said earlier, it should be banned alongside this being limited, because then you only have 1 copy of the Featherstorm instead of 6, so I think that's very, very wise to do. And honestly, it's just a really strong card in this deck, and yes, you need to go first with these cards, but at the same time, if you go first, you're essentially playing an FTK, because you're just going to kill them on the following turn. So yeah, Featherstorm to 1 makes sense. It means they only have 1 copy as opposed to 6 copies, and also it means Flunderies are a little more balanced in terms of, oh yeah, we play like so many degenerate cards already with D-shifter, Wind Barrier statue, and all of these are consistent most of the time, like especially the Wind Barrier statue. You can search it with Rabina. So yeah, Harpy's Featherstorm to 1, I could generally see it. I think it's fair. But yeah, going on to semi-limited cards now, because we just talked about all the limited cards. First card that I think will be semi-limited is Branded Fusion. Reason behind this? Pretty much to make the deck a little weaker. Honestly, with the fact of the matter is that this card can be splashed in tier elements, with the fact of the matter is that Branded is still a very strong deck out there and can still make waves in the game, I could see Konami limiting this card, because this card is literally a lot of different things. This card is essentially a Foolish Burial for any dark monster or light monster in the game, being able to put Fairy Tail Snow into your graveyard or put any tier element in your graveyard to then have access into other fusion plays following on from this card's activation. This card is essentially just insane and is really strong, gives you access into a free banish, which is the Mirror Jade, that can also get you access into other branded cards, and also playing out free means that you can draw the card and also still use cards like Aluba to just go ahead and add another card from your deck, such as Branded Lost, to go ahead and prevent your opponent from being able to even negate the activation of this card or chain to your fusion summon. So I feel like semi-limiting this card makes sense on paper, just for the fact that it's a very strong card. It's an extra Foolish Burial essentially in any tier element deck that chooses to play this card, and also it weakens the full version that is also super consistent already, and means that they have to search this card if they don't draw it, and just gives the deck less chance of drawing it. So I think it's just a wise choice to just weaken it slightly, just to mean that it's still playable, still fully playable, but it's not as strong as it was before. So I could just see them hitting it just for that fact, to weaken Branded just to an extent, and keep the deck still playable as well. So if you just get ashed, you still have access to a second copy of it. So yeah, Branded Fusion to 2, I could definitely see that as well. And then I've got 2 cards here that I think will come off the limited section and onto the semi-limited section. First off, I think is Sunman Great Gazelle. Salad, yes, they have seen some play, but let's be honest, they're still not that strong. They're purely just a full hand trap deck that just makes Heat Soul most of the time, and can sometimes OTK you with access code Talker. I feel like this is one of those decks that, yes, is pretty decent still, but I could honestly see it getting sent put to 2 and Konami just not caring, because Sun and Great just haven't really done a lot recently. So yeah, could easily see this going to 2. Next, Astrograph Magician. I don't really think I need to explain this too much. Astrograph Magician has done nothing. Pendulums have done nothing. This card can go to 2 really easily, especially seeing as Konami are reprinting the card in the Mr. Rune set. I don't know what it really is called. I forgot the name of it, but it's the set with Runic in it, and honestly, I could see Astrograph coming back to 2 just because they're reprinting the card. So yeah, Astrograph to 2, I think it would make sense as well, just for the fact that it's not really doing anything, it's not done anything. They put it to 1, Pendulums have done nothing still. So yeah, Astrograph to 2, definitely something I could see. And then cards that I think will come off the semi-limited section and just get straight unbanned. First of all, Dynamite Knight, True Draco are still doing nothing. Yes, they're a degenerate Floodgate deck, but I honestly don't see the point in this card being on the semi-limited section. The deck's done nothing, and being able to search trap is good and all, but with how fast the game has gone, I don't think it's super strong. Next, Pot of Desires. It went to 1, then went to 2, they're probably just going to put it back to free. Like, honestly, it's not that much of a problem, and I think Desires is fine up free. Like, I don't know why they ever put it to 1. I don't know why they just didn't put it straight back to free. So I can honestly just see them putting it to free again here, just because and be like, yeah, we put it to 1 and then we put it to 2 because like we realized we made a mistake and it didn't really do anything. So yeah, you can just have it back now. Yeah, pretty much Desires to free. I can honestly see it happening again. Hell, and people will be able to draw Desires off Desires, so hey, fair dues on that part, right? And then Trickstar Light Stage, I can honestly see this card coming back to free as well. Trickstars just aren't good anymore. Like, having access to a card that can literally just target a set card, prevent it activating until the end of the turn, and then force your opponent to activate it, it's fine. Like, Light Stage at free, I don't think would do anything. Like, Trickstars aren't that good, and honestly, yeah, they can have their 3rd Light Stage back, and I don't think it would change the game. And hell, if you want to keep Reincarnation drolling people, sure, go ahead. We're gonna Ash it. We're gonna Ash your Reincarnation. We're gonna just prevent you from doing things. Like, I just don't see Light Stage being really broken at free. Like, sure, you can search a Candina, have fun, search a Candina, search a Corobanes. Like, Trickstar just aren't that good anymore, and I don't think they're great. So yeah, put it to free. And then finally, the last card that I think will go to free is Wall of Reeling Light. Honestly, I completely forgot this was at 1 when it got semi-limited, and let's be honest, it can just go straight to free. There is so many ways to pop this card. There are so many ways to deal with this card. I don't understand why Konami just didn't put it straight to free. And yeah, this card can go to free. I don't think Wall of Revealing Light is that big of a problem. And yeah, you can pay like 4,000 or 5,000 life points to stop me from being able to attack. I'll just summon a Nightmare Unicorn and be like, cool. You paid 5,000 life points or 4,000, 3,000, whatever to stop me from attacking. That's fine, dude. I popped your card. Like, it's just not a great card. It's not a good card. And honestly, the only thing I could really see it being used in is maybe just like cheesy stuff. Like stuff that just looks at your opponent and be like, oh yeah, cool. You have that? That's nice. I'm just going to kill it. But yeah, you could play your spell and trap cards and all this stuff, and I'll just kill the Wall of Reeling Light after you paid all these life points, and then kill you in the process. Like, honestly, I just don't think this card is good. I don't think this card will ever be good. And the fact of the matter is, this is not like 2005 where you really did need to attack and MST was at 1. So yeah, Wall of Reeling Light to free, it'd be fine. I don't see any issue with it whatsoever. But yeah, this is my ban list prediction, guys. Tell me what you think of it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, because honestly, I can just see Konami doing a lot of the things here. Like, honestly, I can see them banning Artifact Scythe. I can see them banning Barrier Statue. I can see them limiting E-Tele. I can see them limiting Aqua Enchantress. I can literally see Branded Fusion going straight to 2, because it just makes sense to hit a card that's essentially Foolish Burial for Telements. Like, a lot of this stuff makes a lot of sense. I can definitely see a lot of this stuff coming off the semi-limited session as well. Like, I definitely see Light Stage, Dynamite, and also Wall of Reeling Light coming off the list. Like, Pot of Desires, I honestly could just see that because it's Konami. Like, it makes sense. Like, they made a mistake and they'll rectify it. So, yeah. But, guys, what do you personally think, though? Do you think these cards will be hit? Do you think these cards will come back? Do you think there's different things Konami might hit? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because this is just my ban list opinion. And honestly, everybody out there has their own opinions. We won't know what the actual ban list is until Konami gives it to us. So yeah, I'd just like to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below of what you think will be hit. And this is just my ban list predictions. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Robot1, signing out. Later all.